Welcome to Ancient Stoic Secrets, the place where modern men reclaim timeless wisdom. Today we explore why your quiet, steady love can be more unsettling than any storm. If you've ever wondered why a woman pulls away when your love is calm and true, you're about to discover the deeper truth. This isn't about blame. This is about understanding the mirror you become when you show up with presence and no need to control. Let's explore how your stillness can shake the ground beneath her feet. Not because you're forceful, but because you're real. And in a world of noise, realness is rare, and often frightening. Part 1. Calm is power. A calm, grounded man isn't just peaceful, he's powerful. In a world filled with distractions and emotional noise, your silence speaks louder than shouting ever could. Women are conditioned to expect pursuit, drama, or neediness. But when you come with stillness, unbothered, whole, and detached from outcome, it disturbs the pattern. Calmness isn't the absence of emotion, it's the mastery of it. You show her something unfamiliar, love without chaos. That kind of calm doesn't just surprise her, it forces her to look inward. It threatens the emotional habits she clings to. You didn't lack intensity, you embodied it. But in a form she wasn't ready to face, the kind that doesn't chase but simply holds. Part 2. Real love has no hooks. Love without manipulation is rare, and that rarity can frighten people. You didn't play games. You didn't try to win her over through grand gestures or emotional puppeteering. You simply loved her, freely, without strings. That kind of love doesn't seek to convince. It offers, then lets go. For someone used to transaction, I'll love you if. Your unconditional presence can be unsettling. It forces a confrontation with their own value. Can they receive without earning? Can they trust love that doesn't demand something in return? When love has no hooks, it's not about security. It's about surrender. And surrender requires strength. You didn't fail her. You simply introduced her to something real. And real always reveals what's false. Part 3. Stillness mirrors her storm. Stillness has power, especially when someone isn't used to peace. You didn't shout. You didn't argue. You just stayed. And that quiet presence became a mirror. In your calm, she saw her own emotional turbulence. Where she ran, you stood. Where she reacted, you breathed. This contrast doesn't feel safe, not because you threatened her, but because you forced her to see herself. You became the mirror she didn't ask for but needed. And sometimes when people aren't ready to face their storm, they blame the one holding the mirror. Stillness doesn't judge, but it reflects, and that reflection is often the first crack in an illusion. Part 4. She wasn't ready. You gave her what she always said she wanted, a love without pressure, without control. And yet, she backed away. Why? Because not everyone is ready to receive what they've never experienced. If her idea of love was built on performance, drama, and conditional worth, then your steady presence felt threatening. You didn't try to fix her. You didn't need her to change. You simply accepted her. Fully. But full acceptance exposes all the places she can't accept herself. And when someone's not ready to be fully seen, they will run. Not because of who you are, but because of what your love revealed. Part 5. You didn't break her. It's easy to blame yourself when someone walks away. But remember, you didn't break her. You just stopped playing along. Your love wasn't a weapon, it was a light, and light exposes. What she saw in that light may have scared her, the insecurities, the wounds, the stories she tells herself. Your calm didn't cause those things, it revealed them, and that revelation can feel like an attack to someone unprepared. Healing often begins with discomfort, and discomfort is often blamed on the one who stayed calm. You were still, and that stillness was a canvas for her inner noise. Part 6. Your presence is unfamiliar. Presence is one of the most powerful gifts a man can give. In a world addicted to distraction, being fully there, eyes clear, heart open, emotions grounded, is rare. You brought that, and it overwhelmed her. Presence brings things to the surface. It asks for truth, for openness. And if someone is hiding behind layers of performance, they'll see your attention not as comfort, but as exposure. Your ability to remain undistracted made her confront what she avoids. And while that might feel like rejection, it's not. It's unfamiliarity. Many mistake unfamiliar for unsafe, but they are not the same. Part 7. Love without control is rare. Most people confuse control with love because that's what they've been taught. If he cares, he'll check in constantly. If he loves me, he won't let me go. But that's not love. That's fear. You gave her freedom. You didn't try to change her, contain her, or possess her. You loved her and let her choose. And she chose to leave. Not because your love was lacking, but because she was conditioned to equate control with care. When someone gives you wings instead of a cage, you either fly or flee. You gave her the sky. She wasn't ready to soar. Part 8. You held space, not control. You didn't hold on tightly, you held space. And that's a powerful difference. Holding space means allowing someone to be fully themselves without trying to mold them into who you want. It requires trust. It demands emotional maturity. You didn't suffocate her with expectations. You gave her the room to breathe, to choose, to rise. But when someone's identity is tied to being pursued, to being needed, your freedom feels like distance. If someone mistakes absence of control for indifference, they'll walk away, searching again for chains. Part 9. Masculine energy anchors. Masculine energy, at its best, is anchoring. It doesn't try to overpower or fix. It simply grounds. You didn't meet her chaos with more chaos. You met it with calm. You didn't try to rescue her. You just stood strong in your values, your truth. And that strength, quiet, non-reactive, can shake someone who's never known safety. Anchoring love offers stability, not solutions. It says, I'm here. You don't have to change for me to stay. But to the unhealed heart, that sounds like a lie, because they've been taught love always demands a price. You showed her otherwise, and that shook her. Part 10. You weren't her lesson, she was yours. This wasn't just about her healing, it was about your growth. Loving her taught you boundaries. It taught you patience, clarity, restraint. You learned how to hold space without losing yourself. That's real strength. The kind of strength Stoicism teaches, rooted in internal control, not external outcome. She may have left, but you remained. You didn't fall apart. You rose with understanding. That lesson? It's yours to keep. Let go of needing closure. You already have it. You gave love that didn't demand anything. And that love, even if it wasn't received, transformed you. Part 11. Pain is proof you showed up. Love hurts when it's real. That ache you feel, that's the cost of authenticity. You didn't numb, you didn't manipulate. You showed up with your full heart, and that's why it stings. Pain isn't a sign you failed. It's a sign you risked, and most people never do. So honor the pain. Don't drown in it. Let it refine you. Every scar you carry now is proof of your capacity to love deeply without losing your soul. And in that process, you didn't break. You became forged. The man who feels and still stands becomes the man no one can shake. Part 12. The test of real masculinity. This was never about whether she stayed. It was about whether you did. Not with her, but with yourself. Did you stay true when things got hard? Did you remain grounded when your ego screamed for control? That's the test. Real masculinity isn't force. It's consistency. It's peace under pressure. You passed that test. Not by chasing, not by reacting, but by remaining. The world needs more men like you. Steady, self-aware, strong in silence. Let her go in peace and walk forward in purpose. You didn't just love well. You loved bravely. That's what makes you unshakable. Outro. You didn't lose her. You found yourself. In your calm, in your truth, in your steady love. That's what Stoic masculinity is about. Let others chase, let others beg. You remain. Quiet, strong, free.